It's the bull market doors. Bitcoin right now is, if you look at Bitcoin price, is just for the over a year now has just been walking up to these Bitcoin doors, the bull market doors, and it's getting ready to knock. The most important macro question on my mind is what happens when Bitcoin knocks on these doors? And I want to talk about that in this video because Bitcoin right now on the shorter term, the daily, huge breakout on Bitcoin, making a very crucial move that has a lot to do with that story. Bitcoin walking up to those bull market doors. And then ADA on the yearly, a green yearly candle, as well as Bitcoin. I want to talk about why that is so absolutely important for all of crypto right now. And so please, we're going to dive into the charts, obviously. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I really appreciate all of your support throughout all of these videos that I've been posting. And let's just jump into the video. So this is Bitcoin on the yearly. I want to start here, and then we're going to really dig into the Bitcoin daily chart, the ADA daily chart that you can see here. Also, ADA getting a breakout to the upside, but this is the yearly. I wanted to show, no analysis or anything, but I just want to show you this right here, what's happening on this yearly. So important. You go back to the last halving. This is kind of where we are. The beginning of this yearly candle. That was the beginning of the bull market, really. This was the beginning of that bull market, 2-year bull market. That was a 2020 halving. Go back the cycle before that. Here we are. This is kind of where we are this time around. The 2016 Bitcoin halving, the year of the 2016 Bitcoin halving, 2 years of bull market. You can go back a year before that, and you can go back to 2012. This is where we are in terms of cycles. We're right here, the beginning of the yearly candle, 2-year bull market. Is it guaranteed? I say this a lot. It's not guaranteed. But I'll tell you what, I really enjoy the consistency and the reliability that this data of these cycles has offered to us as we've tracked these markets. And so I can't help but not discount the consistency. And really, I'm very curious to see what happens, not only this year, but even the next year, the next 2 years, the bull cycle that we're getting ready to enter. So here's the weekly chart. We're going to touch on this in just a moment, but I do want to start on the daily. Here's what we have going on. Bitcoin spot ETF news next week and a half. This week is even crucial. As you know, days ago, there were just kind of rumors from inside sources that Bitcoin spot ETF could be approved as early as Tuesday, Wednesday, the green light, right? That could be made public. We're talking about tomorrow or Wednesday. Now, I want to mention this because I just saw this. BlackRock sources say SEC will take until end of the week to approve Bitcoin ETFs. So there's people that are thinking, hey man, it could be Tuesday, it could be Wednesday. Now it's like looking more maybe towards the end of the week. What does that allow in terms of Bitcoin price in the shorter term? Here's the daily, getting a huge breakout. I just think it allows for a lot of manipulation. There's so much unknown. There's so many people that are like, should I put a long in right now? Should I do a leveraged long in anticipation for this news that's potentially dropping on Tuesday, and then it doesn't drop, and then those longs get liquidated? The news doesn't drop, and then the longs get liquidated, or shorts, vice versa, because the news does get in. There's just so much room for short-term volatility, right? And so we're going to talk about the charts in terms of what the technical move is, but right now, I think it's just good idea. Nobody knows exactly what is going to happen with this, number one, but number two, when it's going to happen. So there could be a lot of volatility. And I say that because we did just broke out of an upper trend line, $50,000 target. That's a huge target in the more important macro scheme of things. And I want to explain why in a moment, but this is a very important $50,000 target. But notice we're breaking out of the triangle. Maybe we go a little higher. I'm always anticipating throwbacks. These throwbacks, and again, this is a daily, right? This could be a little bit up and then just down, right back down, right? As we're talking about all this speculative Bitcoin spot ETF, people are getting freaked out back down to 42 because the news hasn't launched yet. And then, maybe all of a sudden it's falling because there's rumors of something else. Put aside the speculation of what could happen with the news. That's why I like to just follow the technicals. So often we see throwbacks. If we see a throwback, what happens at the support? That's the only question. Now, I'll say this. We don't always get throwbacks. It doesn't always happen. Right now, we do have a breakout to the upside. $50,000 target is so notable for me personally because as I started the video talking about these bull market doors, those bull market doors is the bull market high to bear market low. It's a Fibonacci. You see the 618 line right around 48,000, the 786 line right around 57,000 or so. That is so important to me because this is the real confirmation I'm waiting for. And the very fact that the shorter term daily target for Bitcoin is around 50,000, that falls right in this Fibonacci, right? So Bitcoin could hit that Fibonacci. Maybe Bitcoin spot ETF draws it up there, right? Maybe this week, maybe it gets announced and Bitcoin's cruising towards 50, breaking 50. It's so bullish. Everybody's talking about 60, 70, 80. And then maybe in this Fibonacci at 57 or so, 58, maybe there's resistance. If things just get crazy. But either way, even if the only thing that happens is Bitcoin hits a $50,000 target, I just want to point something out. That would be Bitcoin touching the Fibonacci area, this lower high Fibonacci area. And if that were to happen, I just want to say something. This is something that has happened before. Last cycle, here's Bitcoin hitting the Fibonacci out of the bear market, boom, and then failing. And then we go to the cycle before that. Bitcoin was hitting exact same Fibonacci swing high, bear market low, into the Fibonacci right here, failed, right back down. So far, there's been no macro bullish confirmation of this parabolic bull market starting for me. I want to see what happens at these bull market doors. And right now, Bitcoin is kind of charging towards those doors, getting ready to knock. The question is, what will happen when Bitcoin tests the $50,000 area, say? And that is the target out of the symmetrical triangle. Could be volatility along the way. Maybe it takes days to get there. Obviously, it's a pretty nice target to the upside. Bitcoin right now around 44, 45,000. It's a $5,000 move for Bitcoin. It's a big move. But what happens if it gets there? Is the Bitcoin, this is the question, is the Bitcoin spot ETF so big? Is this bull market going to be so different that Bitcoin flies through the Fibonacci and breaks the bull market doors before the Bitcoin halving? That would be something Bitcoin has never done. And that is what has me so curious about these charts. And also, this order book right here is exactly kind of, this is a Lux Algo order book. It's meeting Bitcoin almost right where it is. Order block kind of acting as a little bit of resistance for Bitcoin right at the confluence of this Fibonacci. So I think right now, this general $50,000 to $45,000 area for Bitcoin is such a good test for us to see, is it really this different this time around? Because if Bitcoin could just break through that area and continue towards the higher end of the Fibonacci, we're on to something in terms of this cycle truly being different. Let's pivot to ADA. There's ADA on the yearly. Not as much data, obviously, on the yearly chart, but good to see a yearly candle green so far. The monthly offering, I would say, really important insight into ADA trying to break into its own divergence from the last cycle, doing something that would just be epically bullish. I don't know if that's a word, epically, but it is in this video. But if ADA can break this 50-month moving average, close a green candle right now above the 50-month, we're talking about 63, 64 cents. ADA is there right now. And then if we go to the chart right now, notice the 200-week moving average. It's the same type of deal. This has been this area that ADA has been contesting with for like a month now. This is a huge area of resistance for ADA. I'm not quite sure if ADA is going to muster up the energy to break above and through. If it does, I'm telling you, everybody, it is going to be absolutely explosive. And we're going to look at in just a minute the ADA charts. I'm going to talk about another reason why it's explosive on the ADA charts, a breakout for ADA. But going back to the weekly, I know I've mentioned this. I'm going to keep mentioning it. ADA has this Lux Algo. If you look at this over here on the left, we've been using the Lux Algo price action concepts in terms of order blocks. But you go over here and we look at the signals and overlays. Right now, what I have on the screen is a smart trail, right? So I hit smart trail. We have the smart trail. You see this blue hitting on the smart trail, the Lux Algo smart trail. This is what happened at Bitcoin halving last cycle. And we're in this very similar move for ADA right now. So we're getting that trigger in a similar fashion this cycle around, right? The shift to bull market. But here's where I'm saying if ADA will diverge. Right now, the move that ADA is in to the upside is very similar to the Shelly move. You go to the momentum oscillator and we just look at in terms of being overbought. Overbought here, overbought here. There could be time for consolidation now. If ADA keeps going, that would diverge from what it did last cycle. And that is why the shorter term move for ADA is so important right now. And now we can talk about the shorter term move, targets to the upside and to the downside. I want to start with a quick clip it's such an important clip to the actual technical analysis of this video, which is why I'm showing it. Context, everybody. Check it out. This was December 13th, a couple weeks ago. We're going to track it. But notice what we're waiting for on the bigger time scale. This is a daily, is the structure that will be here as a 20-day pulls into Cardano. It happened. It happened. I'm very excited that it happened because it's, talking about that structure, doing that video back then, it's just like we had nothing happening in this box, and talking about it means we have to wait for something to happen. We have to wait for the 20-day to pull into ADA. Look what happened. It pulled into ADA price, and we got a symmetrical triangle, which is almost of no surprise to me. These are these setups happen so often, but here we are in terms of the move. I want to show you something. This was a tweet from December 26th, not long ago. ADA was bouncing off that lower trend line. It was a really nice move on this chart. I said Cardano bounced nicely off the lower triangle trend line, and I just said not entirely convinced the correction is over, but 80-cent ADA breakout still very much in play. My sense was I just wasn't over enthusiastic about just the move, right? On December, what was that date? December 26th. So this move, I wasn't overly enthusiastic. There need to be a little bit more consolidation, I think, a little bit more interaction with the 20-day moving average. And now there has been interaction with it. Now we have this upper trend line being broken. But even now, as I do the video, I have a very similar sentiment in terms of my sentiment then. And that is to say, yeah, it's breaking kind of this trend line, right? That started back here at the swing high on December 13th when we were waiting for the structure. But there's a ton of resistance right here. And this is what leads to or lends itself to how bullish of a move this would be if ADA breaks away from the resistance. So obviously these swing highs is this resistance area. You see this order block level. It's a Lux Algo order block level of resistance. This range right here, you're looking at like 67 down to like 60 cents or so. ADA is consolidating all along that range. So it's just generally at this very big resistance level right now. The target to the upside is 80 cents. If ADA breaks out, I think it's going to be a very explosive, fast move to 80 cents. I don't think it would take long to get there. This would be an incredibly massive move, not because it's just, if we look at price range, what that looks like, from where it is right now anyway, it's a 25% move. Awesome gains. Nobody will question that. The reason why it's so big, though, isn't even because it's like, hey, a nice 25% gain for ADA. It's because it would mean ADA is breaking very strongly above the 50-month moving average. ADA is breaking very strong above that red line, the 200-week moving average. And I think most importantly, ADA is diverging from this move back here, meaning back then it would have just kept going. Well, this time it keeps going to 80 cents. It's going higher. And not only that, notice how this move anyway was post Bitcoin halving. So ADA is already making a move so much earlier. ADA was like just getting done falling last cycle at this point. ADA has already been making a move earlier. So I just want to point that out, right? Now, we go back and we look at the chart. Here's what I'm waiting for. I obviously want to see most previous resistance being broken, all of these areas, these wicks to the upside. I mean, you just look at this setup, the wick to the upside on the 28th, 67 to 68 cents. There's resistance all up to that area. Even if ADA right now, as I end the video, just keeps going, if it's hitting 67 cents, I'm still going to be like, man, I'm not there yet in terms of this really bullish break. I would really like it to see ADA completely just exit this order block area, break this previous swing high, and really just start getting that's where we start getting that crazy momentum. It's flying into 70 cents and then boom, 80-cent target to the upside. What's good, go to the daily chart. It is just reset on the RSI. Look at the reset. Boom, out of overbought. Nice consolidation right back down to a very similar area that it consolidated back down to on the RSI last piece of structure before, boom, explosive move to the upside. We're looking at a very similar thing. Consolidation of the RSI, cooled down a lot. It's not overbought. And then, structure, and then boom, next target to the upside. This is something that is very typical in bull environments. It's going to be very fun to watch to see if ADA can accomplish it. So this is just Bitcoin, ADA. These are things I'm anticipating in terms of these charts, what I'm watching for. I have to mention it, everybody. Bitcoin just broke $45,000 as I'm recording. So ADA's trying to make a move right now as well, 63.5 cents. Bitcoin breaks $45,000, $50,000 target for Bitcoin. We're looking at, from where Bitcoin is right now, we're looking at around a move of around 10%. For ADA, an 80-cent target, we're looking at a move of around, we just did it, 26%, 25%. This is how we're starting the year, everybody. This is how we're starting the year. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good start to your year. Hit the subscribe, hit the like as we start this bull cycle. Your support not only means a lot to me, but it's just fun. It's just fun being on this crypto journey and just kind of reading your comments, getting to know some of you out there in the crypto space. So I think it's going to be a good year, everybody. I pray you have an awesome start to your year. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.